All right, Coach, just kind of what's your excitement level going into this Saturday, and the program's going to be their inaugural Big 12 conference game at Kansas State?
And we're excited. We're looking forward to an opportunity to compete in that conference, and our guys are excited. And the practice this week has been going well, and looking forward to getting started.
Johnny, do you change your approach at all when it comes to how your style of play when you get to the Big 12? Did you do a lot of advanced scouting to kind of see what you guys may be facing over the next couple months?
We definitely had guys doing some advanced scouting for us with regards to a few of the teams. Of course, I'm a game by game guy, so I didn't start watching until after our last opponent. And for us, it's all about it's about us really. One thing I found is if no matter what league you're in, you have to make it about your team and what you're trying to accomplish. Like, what is our identity? And we've done our identity being on the defensive end of the floor. I think we've been successful with that, and we're going to continue to build off of that. And so it doesn't matter what conference, what opponent, our style of play is going to be the same.
John,
Has a surge in excitement level at all with the guys? Is the practice a little bit more heated now at all?
Everybody's excited, of course. You're coming off the holidays. We sent our players home to spend time with their families, coming back off the holidays, understanding that conference play is starting. It's a new season. We always say there are 3 seasons in college basketball. There's preseason, there's conference play, and then there's the tournaments at the end. So there are 3 unique, different seasons. And for us, everyone's back at 0-0 starting this new season. So we're excited to know that everyone's starting the race in the exact same place. And let's see what we can do. We're excited about these opportunities.
coaches and media have UCF near the bottom of the Big 12. What is your response to that? And your guys best. What do they think about that?
Well, of course. They don't have it near the bottom. They have it at the bottom. And, those are things that we see. And but, we know we have an opportunity to be better. We're not worried about where somebody ranks us, in the preseason. Those are just rankings. I think they ranked K-State that last year. And K-State had a marvelous season, I think, Elite 8 team. So we're not going to go by that. The thing is, you still have to play the games. That's always the case. We have to go play each other, and we'll find out where we stand at the end of actually the conference play. And so we're looking forward to taking that first step in our first game coming up.
What's your travel for this game? Is it a charter?
Yes. We'll be chartering out to play Kansas State.
And is that the case for the rest of the season?
To my knowledge, most of the games we will be chartering.
Hey, Coach, is there how important is it to get off to a good start when it comes to Big 12 play? And has there been an additional message to the team to kind of like step up their game a little bit now that you're entering conference play?
Well, I think the guys all realize, that, we're going to a new conference. It's the #1 conference in college basketball. So with those expectations, our guys have a feeling of, what we have to do, when we take this next step. I think practice has been really good. Our guys have been building, momentum, I think, throughout the preseason in preparation. I think we've had a solid preseason, and I think going forward, we can continue to build on it, continue to get better. We'll be competitive in the Big 12 as well. And so that's kind of how we're looking at it. And the message for us is really simple, is that we belong. That's the message I'm going to get out of my guys is we belong. There's a reason why we're there. It's because we belong there. And so with that, that's the message I'm going to, continue to try to, drive home to our guys as we compete, in the new league.
Johnny, you mentioned going through the preseason schedule. What have you liked about when you guys come out of that? What have you liked about your team? And what are some areas that you still think you need to kind of maybe focus on to get a little bit better on?
Well, the things I liked is I liked our energy. I always said I liked our competitive spirit from the very first day I started coaching these guys. Very competitive young men. Whether we practice or games, I know they're going to bring it. I like the fact that we've, established our identity. Our identity ends up being, how we defend and the way we defend. I think our guys are really starting to really buy into that now and understanding how that can be effective for us. Because, again, when you have 10 new guys and you're trying to put something together real fast, that's challenging. So these guys are starting to get more chemistry and continuity in what I want. And so I've liked that. Some of the challenges have been for us is we have to be more consistent. We have to take care of the ball better. Those are areas that we have to improve, and I think we will. I think the more we get our chemistry down and where I like the ball, where I want it, the easier those passes and plays will be made. And so those are the areas that we have to continue to work on. But I like our guys' attitude. They come in every day to get a little better. If they do that, we'll be a really good team.
As leagues are turning the page from non-conference to conference play, I think I saw a stat today on social media of the 14 toughest remaining strength of schedules are basically the 14 teams in the Big 12. Among those, UCF has the #2 remaining strength of schedule nationally. So what do you know at this point? I know you're a game by, as you said. You know it's the best conference in college basketball, but does anything kind of stand out to you about this makeup of the Big 12 as you head into conference play?
Well, the thing that you know right away whenever you're stepping up in conferences, the thing that you know is your margin becomes that much tighter. Everybody has good players. Everybody's going to compete. Everybody has really good coaches. So your margin becomes tight now, tighter than it was before. And that's something you have to expect. But that's fine. Who doesn't like to compete? I know I do. I know my team will. And so for us is how do we go out there every day, put our best foot forward when we step foot on the floor, look to get better every practice and every game going forward through this league, and to see where we stand at the end.
What stands out to you about Kansas State as you've scouted them?
Kansas State's a very good basketball team, a really good perimeter. Carter, Perry, Kaluma, those guys are really good on the perimeter. Their bigs are very good as well. They're active. They offensive rebound at a high level. So the thing that stands out is really strong perimeter play. I think they're a really good defensive team as well. And they play with good pace. We have to make sure we, can slow them down some. They play with a good pace as well. Whether, they make or miss, they're running the ball down the floor and they're looking to create.
You had a common opponent in Miami. Did anything stand out about those games when you looked at the Miami matchups?
Very common. Both teams have perimeters that, high-octane guys on the perimeter, capable scorers. We had to do a better job of containing those guys, to do a better job of making sure that we limit them to one shot and not multiple shot attempts, because they do a very good job on the glass. They're top 15 in the nation in offensive rebounds. So not only do those guards make a lot of plays, but their perimeter players and their bigs are very active on the boards.
You got guys like C.J. Walker coming back before conference play, Antoine Jones, Marcellus Avery. How is it knowing that you have pretty much all your players available going into conference play?
Well, it feels good. Now, we take it day by day because tomorrow is a new day. You hope you have all your guys available. And for us, it feels good to see guys coming back. And like I always said, mainly for them. I mean, I was a former player, as you guys know. So the last thing I want to see is some player on any team, my team or a team we're going to play, guys out with injuries, because I know they've dedicated their lives. They've been committed to this, for a long time. And so I hate to see players out because of injuries. So I'm happy to see these guys are back, mainly for them. And, of course, for us, I think they do make us a better team with their, by adding those players to our roster. And so excited to have them with us now.
Coach, in your research of the Big 12, is it like any other conference? Win your home games, protect your home court, steal a few on the road, put you in the upper half, and that gets you into the tournament in this league?
Well, because of the depth of talent in the league and the teams, you're right, you probably have, 6 teams in the top 25, I think, and probably 3 or 4 in the top 10. So, you plan a great schedule every single night. And the main thing you have to do is you have to know there's going to be no reprieves. They're going to be, every night is going to be a tough night. There's no game you're going to walk into any arena, home or away, and feel, this is a good win for us, or potentially a good win. Every team you play is going to be challenging, and you have to look forward to that. That's why I say it favors guys who are competitors. You want teams that are competitors that want that type of challenge, because it's not one game you're going to play throughout this season from here on out that you can just mark off, this is probably going to go in the win column. You have to go out there and really, really earn every one of them.
Johnny, is there any sort of challenge with going into new venues? You're going into a new league, so you're going to go see a lot of new courts that you guys haven't played on before. Is there any sort of challenge with that? And how do you kind of keep your guys kind of to remain focused when they get there and have to deal with that?
No, it will be a challenge. It won't be as much a challenge for me because I've, of course, been in those situations a number of times as a player and as a coach. But for my players, a lot of the players haven't been in these type of venues before. Just the crowd sizes, packed arenas. They're there 3 and 4 hours before the game. They're already heckling you when you get off the bus. I look forward to it. I've seen all of it. That's fun. And so our guys have got to get accustomed to that. And that's just a learning process. So we've tried to do some, things like pumping in, crowd noise in our practices and things to try to simulate how loud it's going to be when we try to make calls offensively or make calls defensively. We're not going to be able to yell like I'm speaking to you, and our guys they're not going to hear it. So we have to understand the importance of how we communicate and looking over at the bench more to get the signals and signs that we're going to run. So these are all things that we're trying to prepare our guys for.
Is there one venue? Sorry, not to follow up there. Is there one venue, 1 or 2 venues that you and your coaches know might be a bigger challenge than maybe some of the other ones?
To be quite frank, no, I don't know of any other venues more challenging than another. All of them are great venues. I've played in some of them, coached in some of them, and they all are great. They're all going to have terrific crowds, all going to have fan bases that are living and dying, this time of the year with college basketball. And so it's going to be a lot of energy in all the arenas.
Coach, you've been here since 2016. You've always known this program was kind of on the cusp of taking that next step up. We've known, I guess, for a couple of years now, UCF is going into the Big 12. Just what does that mean to you personally? I know the American was a good conference, but this is, the best conference in college basketball. I know you have a long history in the ACC as a player and assistant coach. And what does it mean to you, I guess, to be the head coach that leads UCF into the Big 12?
I'm honored, to be quite frank. I was hoping to have this opportunity, and now it's here. And, I think, based on what we're trying to do and based on what we want to do with this program, we want our program to be an elite program, a top 25 program in the country. I think, going into a conference like this, facing these challenges that we're going to face, helps prepare you for what I can see, what I can envision UCF becoming. And so for me, I'm excited. Like you said, we know our players are excited. I think our fan base, this community in Orlando, I think everyone should be very excited about the opportunity that's in front of us because this opportunity was earned. Like I said, for everyone out here, we belong. I think this is showing that we belong, not just UCF, Orlando, our surrounding community, our fan base, our alumni, everyone, and that's where we are. And we're going to make everyone proud by how hard we play every single possession, every single night.
You've talked about your team defensively. What more do you need to see from your team on offense?
We have to keep getting better offensively. Our defense is ahead of our offense, obviously, right now. And that's probably how it's kind of, with a lot of teams. So our offense has to catch up. We dedicated a lot of time, a lot of energy and effort toward getting our D where we want because that's the one thing that travels. No matter how good you are offensively, some nights that ball just don't go for you. You guys all know that. And so the one thing that whether, doesn't have a night off is how you guard. So you should be able to at least carry that with you no matter where, on the road or at home. So that's why we established that first. And then for us now, as we're still trying to build out our offense with new piece players being added, changing our rotations a little bit, with new players being added, new sets are being added to, complement who they are. So we're still adjusting offensively, but we're getting there. Like every day I see us getting a little better offensively, and I can see where our overall potential offensively, it could be a really good team.
Speaking about defense being your team's identity, you guys are top 15 in blocks per game in the nation, stellar interior defense. How has that shaped the way you guys play your game?
Well, it's good to have guys back there that are capable of making plays. We have a lot of guys active on our front line, and they've done a really good job of anchoring our D. And we have to, continue that. They have to continue to work on that, continue to understand their importance back there on the back line. And, we depend on those guys making plays, and they've done a good job for us thus far this season.
Coach, take a second. Talk to the fans, the students, the alums. What role do you want them to play in these home conference games?
Well, it's going to be so important for our fans, our students, our alums to come out, come out with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm to mirror what we're going to face every time we go out on the road. There's not one venue we're going to go to that's not going to be full. Not one venue we're going to go to where the energy in that building is going to be so loud that you could probably cut it with a knife. And so we need all of our fans, when we come back home, to make sure that we fill Additional Financial Arena up because we want to give them the same type of treatment that we're going to receive when we go out on the road.
Where would you say CJ and Antoine are coming back as they have a couple games under their belt, but from a stamina standpoint, where do you think they are?
I think Antoine's, ahead of, CJ from the standpoint he came back a little bit earlier, which he's a little bit of ahead of him with regards to his stamina and conditioning. But CJ's coming along fine. I mean, I think especially this week, we've had a good week of practices. He was able to contribute a lot in the practices this week. So with that, I think his conditioning is at a level that's going to be good enough for him to compete real well for us in the future as well.
Anyone injured that's not going to be participating in this game Saturday?
As of right now, I think everyone's healthy. I haven't received a report from our trainer from this last practice to find out exactly where we are. But as of leaving the practice, I feel that everyone should be able to go come Saturday.
Coach, what would define a successful first season in the Big 12 for you?
I haven't really thought about what would define a successful first season for us. The main thing I'm looking at, I'm just concentrating at one game at a time and trying to be our best for each one of these games coming up. So I've thrown everything that we have, and as I'll do for every one of our opponents, into, preparing for K-State, and then we'll move forward there. I just want our guys to go out there with what I said to you earlier, is with the mindset that we belong. And the only way, we show that we belong is by how well we compete out there on the floor every night.
Hey, Shemarri, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Great, great. So, I mean, the moment's here. We've been asking, Coach and all you guys about the Big 12 schedule ever since before the season. Now you can focus on those games. I'm sure that was a big part of your decision maybe to come to UCF to be part of this inaugural Big 12 team. So what's the excitement level amongst the players right now as you get ready to play Kansas State on Saturday?
We're super excited as a team. Obviously, our first conference game in the Big 12. So just our week of preparation, what we've been doing on the practice floor, in the film room, I feel like the guys are pretty ready and excited, pumped up to go.
What do you know exactly about the Big 12? I mean, the league has been strong over the last couple of years, but what stands out to you about Big 12 play in basketball?
Really just like every given night, there's no off nights. Every team from 1 to 14 is a great team to battle against.
I mean, looking back on non-conference play, do you look at it like a success?
I feel like we had a few games we let slip through our hands, but not anything we can get back. Looking forward to our new season in conference play right now.
Coach just said that his message to the team is that this team belongs in the Big 12. What does that mean to you?
Just like he said, we belong. Like, a lot of people will at first count us out, but we'll soon prove them wrong, and like we have a chip on our shoulder at the end of the day.
What's the identity of this team, Shemarri? Can you tell yet?
A hard collar, blue collar program that gets it done on both ends of the floor, offensively, defensively. Our mindset is like have our defense travel and our offense will like come along.
Coach, the defense is ahead of the offense right now. He's not too concerned about that. What are your thoughts on that?
We're, like he said, not too concerned. Like, we know our offense will get flowing. Our defense is what's helped us like get through non-conference. So going into conference, just keeping our confidence and different things like that will help us play like a big role in conference.
Hey, Shemarri, you'll be going into some of the best venues in college basketball against some of the best players as well. What's the mindset for you and the players to take it one play at a time, one possession at a time, and one game at a time?
A little just like you said, one play at a time. Don't get too high with the highs, not too low with the lows. Just staying consistent throughout the whole conference play and not really getting rattled whenever things aren't going our way.
Coach mentioned that they've been pumping in some crowd noise to kind of get you guys prepared maybe for some of these venues where there are going to be some raucous crowds. What do you guys have to do to kind of tune that all out when you guys are on the floor and avoid getting caught up in maybe being in some of these new venues in some of these areas?
Really, it comes down to just our talk, like the bench and the players on the floor. We got to echo the calls, just be loud, just know when we are on the road, it's one team, one heartbeat.
Shemarri, you were at UMKC last year. You guys went on the road at Kansas State. You were UMKC's leading scorer in that game with 21 points. Just what do you remember about that game and that environment? And is there some advice you can give to your teammates about playing in Manhattan?
They will come out like with a great crowd, great student section. But at the end of the day, it's all about us. Like, we all we have on the road. So just remaining focused, staying humble, and just taking what the defense gives us offensively.
Do you like playing in environments like that when everyone in the stadium is getting after you and it's loud and students are going wild? Do you enjoy playing in games like that?
Yeah, I love it. Playing on the road is like one of my best things, and I just love getting road dubs and coming back home with a victory.
As you've studied Kansas State in preparation, what stands out about them?
Their ability to offensive rebound. They're a really great offensive rebounding team. So just limiting them to one shot and getting out in transition is one of the things we have to really focus on.
How do you think you match up as you look at it?
We match up really well with them. Like, they have a lot of great guards, some great interior postmen. So just staying focused on the game plan and what coaches have prepared for the game Saturday.
You guys got all your guys back, like C.J. Walker, Antoine Jones, Marcellus Avery, before going into conference play. How much does that help you guys out, and where do you feel like team chemistry is right now?
That helps us out a lot. And our team chemistry, just from, like, them always being able to practice with us, I feel like it's top tier. Like, they were able to practice with us throughout the whole time, just weren't able to play. So just getting them in game reps was being really great coming into conference.
Shemarri, you talked about that chip on your shoulder. You guys have that chip on your shoulder. Preseason rankings having UCF at the bottom. Do you guys still think about that and use that as motivation as you go into this conference play to maybe prove the doubters wrong?
Yeah, we still use it as motivation. But we know at the end of the day we belong.
Hey, what do you think would determine a successful Big 12 season when you guys enter conference play? Whether it's, of course, obviously the goal is to win every game, but what do you think a successful season looks like in Big 12 play?
Finishing at the top half of the conference and essentially, like you said, winning our conference championship, going on to the NCAA tournament.
With so many new guys in the mix, Coach has been talking about that, 10 new faces. Who's emerged as the leaders that you can count on during games?
Jaylin Sellers, Darius Johnson, Omar Payne, myself. We have a lot of experience, so just everybody has stepped up in like numerous ways. Different games, people have shown what they can do. So I feel like we have a lot of different leaders that can, step up at any given moment.
What's your leadership style?
Just vocal and leading by example at the end of the day. Like just doing a little bit of both, letting the younger guys know, like stay confident, remain ready. When your number's called, just be ready for whatever coach tells you to go out there and do.
Obviously, UCF's one of the 4 newcomers to the Big 12. Teams like Kansas State, they really don't know anything about you guys. What do you think the Big 12 is going to learn about this UCF basketball team?
That each and every night we go hard and we will surprise a lot of teams early, and then they'll have to put us on their radar.
All set?
Hey, Jaylin, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing great. So, obviously, this is a big moment in UCF program history, going to be the inaugural game in the Big 12. I'm sure that was a big reason why you decided to transfer to UCF. So what's the excitement level amongst you guys as you get ready to play Kansas State?
First and foremost, it's a blessing to be here. So I would say it's a great opportunity for us as a team and also us as a program to come out and just prove what we can do in this league.
You got talking about going to different venues in this conference, playing at some hostile crowds. How do you guys kind of avoid getting caught up in all the emotion and everything going on with those crowds?
Just making sure that we stay together and not worry about what the crowd is saying or if something happened. It is going to be a game around, so no matter how the crowd is going, to just try to stay together throughout the whole game.
Like others have mentioned, and maybe you've seen, that coaches and media polls have you guys near the bottom of the conference in predictions. What is your thoughts on that? And you know your guys best, so what do you say to that?
For me personally, nothing was ever given, so it really don't really bother me. Only thing you can do is just make that chip deeper on my shoulder and also my team. So I just feel like it's just gonna only motivate us.
9-3 in the non-conference slate. How do you feel that schedule prepared you now for the start of Big 12 play?
It's prepared us great. We had a lot of tough games that we played here at home, and also one that we went to Miami and played out there. So I think it most definitely prepared us for this upcoming Big 12 season, and also for the tournament with us playing back-to-back games in Jacksonville.
Hey, how has the intensity maybe have increased over the time for practice and stuff like that, just to mentally get you guys ready for this Big 12 schedule?
Everybody is most definitely amped up, coaches, players. So we most definitely on the road with playing hard and just coming out and make sure we staying focused and listening to everything that coach is telling us and trying to execute everything that we possibly can.
Jaylin, how's the chemistry been for you guys? You've had the preseason, you've gone through that. How has the group kind of bonded and gelled like you guys thought it would be?
Actually, in my opinion, I think we gelled and bonded better than I thought we would. With us having 10 new guys coming on the team, I think we gel pretty fast, and we just keep getting better and better at it also. So.
What is the Big 12 going to learn about UCF?
That we're going to come out every night and play hard. We're going to leave it all out there on the court, and we're never going to back down and just know that we belong here.
What stands out to you as you've studied Kansas State? What did they do well, and how do you think you match up?
I think as far as like the rebounding, with them being number 12 in the country with offensive rebounding, so I think that's going to play a big key in this game, and I feel like we match up well. They got some good guards, and they also got a good coach, so I just feel like we match up pretty well. We got a good coach, we got good guards, and we also got good players over here. We're going to play hard.
You're the leading scorer of this basketball team and one of the leading scorers in the Big 12 in general. Do you feel any pressure or expectations going into conference play, and you know more eyes will be watching you?
Not really. Basically, I've been doing this all my life. I feel like I prepare well every day, work hard as I possibly can. So it really don't bother me as long as I can do that in a quiet gym. I know I can do that with noise around.
This Jaylin, is kind of talk about, where do you think this team can take another step up? Like, is there an area that coach has been getting after you in practice over last week? What will it take for this team to kind of make another step forward?
Just executing on everything that the game plan is for two halves. I think we always have one great half, but I don't feel like we put two halves together right now.
Shemarri just mentioned you as one of the leaders on this team. What kind of leader are you?
I would say just somebody that just want to stay positive and just try to lead by example with my hard work and just trying to do everything that coach tells me to do to make sure the young guys just follow in line.
Have you seen your confidence in that role grow over this non-conference schedule?
Yes, sir, most definitely, especially with me coming in a new role with this team. It most definitely gained over time with me learning from guys like Shemarri, Omar, and DJ, just learning how to be a better leader.
It's going to be a raucous atmosphere on Saturday and every road game you play in the Big 12. What do you think about that? And do you like playing in atmospheres like that?
Most definitely, just to come out and just show what I can do in this league and also help my team show we can be in this league. So it's also fun. Just showing how Coach Dawkins and the other coaches just prepared us and just show that we belong here.
Speaking about going on the road and getting those atmospheres, do you have anything to say to the fans to get the atmosphere like this here?
Most definitely. If you can make it out there to Kansas State this Saturday, most definitely come. It's going to be a show. We're going to put on the show. And it's going to be a great game.
And you have anything for the fans who want to come and enjoy the UCF games at home?
Oh, yeah, most definitely come. We're going to have it rocking in here. Most definitely going to give y'all the show that y'all want.